Let's get right into it. Number 10. Your body is a liar. Have you ever been sitting at your desk, minding your own business when you feel it? The phantom buzz. That little vibration in your pocket, telling you that someone is calling or texting or just thinking about you. You frantically grab your phone, only to find the screen is dark and silent. Congratulations, you've just experienced a lie your body tells you, a phantom vibration. This isn't just a quirky little glitch, it's a full-blown psychological phenomenon. It's so common, in fact, that scientists gave it an official name, phantom limb syndrome for your phone. Okay, they didn't, but they should have. The real term is phantom vibration syndrome, and it's basically your nervous system being so keyed up and anxious about missing a notification that it starts making stuff up. Your brain, which is constantly on the lookout for new information, starts misinterpreting random nerve signals, muscle spasms, or even the friction of your clothes against your skin. It takes these benign sensations and says, "Yep, that's definitely a text from Sarah." It's a classic case of your brain being an overzealous assistant, trying to be helpful but mostly just making you look like a weirdo checking a phone that isn't ringing. Number 9. Brain's fake memories. Imagine remembering something with perfect clarity. The color of the shirt your best friend was wearing, the exact words someone said, the specific details of a room. Now, imagine a scientist telling you that memory is completely made up. Our brains don't record events like a video camera. They're more like a chaotic painter working from a vague sketch. Every time you recall a memory, you're not pulling up an original file. You're rebuilding it from scratch, using a combination of the original information, your current mood, and new details you've picked up since. This is why memories can change over time, why you and a sibling can have wildly different recollections of the same family trip. Each time you access that memory, you're essentially overwriting the previous version, and you might accidentally add a new brushstroke, a new detail that wasn't there before. The scariest part? Your brain does this without your permission and with zero warning. You can be absolutely certain about a memory, only for it to be a complete fabrication. It's a testament to how creative and, frankly, terrifyingly unreliable our brains are. It's like having a computer that secretly edits your old photos every time you open them, but you're just a trusting idiot who assumes it's the original. Number 8. Your heartbeat is a metronome. Listen closely. Your heart isn't just a simple, steady pump. If you've ever felt like your heart is skipping a beat or suddenly starts racing, you've experienced its secret life. We all know the normal rhythm, but your heart rate actually fluctuates in a bizarrely complex way. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. Scientists call it heart rate variability, and it's the tiny millisecond by millisecond changes in the time between your heartbeats. The bigger the variability, the healthier you are. A perfectly constant, metronome-like heart is actually a sign of distress or disease. A healthy heart is constantly adapting, speeding up for an inhale and slowing down for an exhale. It's an endless, subtle dance, a chaotic symphony of tiny adjustments. Your body is basically a high-strung jazz musician, and a perfectly steady beat means the music has stopped. So the next time you feel a little flutter or a hiccup in your chest, don't panic. It's not a sign that your body is breaking down. It's a sign that it's working exactly as it's supposed to, doing its tiny neurotic dance to keep you alive. Number 7. The autopilot effect. Ever driven to a familiar place like work or a friend's house and suddenly realize you don't remember the last 5 miles? You were driving, you followed all the rules, and you got there safely, but your conscious mind was on vacation. This isn't just you being forgetful. It's a phenomenon called highway hypnosis. It's your brain's way of delegating tasks. The conscious part of your mind gets bored and decides to go think about what to have for dinner, while the part of your brain that handles routine tasks takes over. It's the same thing that happens when you're tying your shoes or brushing your teeth or performing any repetitive action. Your conscious mind checks out and you enter a kind of waking trance state. It's incredibly efficient, but it's also a little terrifying. You're essentially a passenger in your own body, being driven by a subconscious mind that's just running on muscle memory and instinct. It's proof that a huge chunk of your day is spent on a kind of mental autopilot, and you only realize it when you snap back to reality and wonder how you ended up here. Number 6. Your brain's time-lapse trick. You know that feeling when you're watching a movie and the villain slowly turns their head, but the moment feels like an eternity. Or when you're in a car accident and everything seems to slow down. That's not just a cliché. It's your brain literally manipulating your perception of time. When you're in a life-threatening situation, your brain goes into overdrive. It floods your system with adrenaline, which speeds up your internal clock and makes the world appear to move in slow motion. It's a survival mechanism designed to give you more time to process information and react. The thing is, this isn't a true slowing of time. It's an illusion created by your brain, which is taking in and processing information so fast that it feels like time has stretched out. When you recall the memory later, it feels like it happened in slow motion. But in reality, it all happened in a split second. Your brain is a master storyteller, and it's not above bending the laws of physics to make a good narrative. Number 5. The voice in your head. Have you ever stopped to think about the voice you're hearing right now? The one reading these words? It's not your voice. It's a voice you've created in your head, a kind of internal narrator that doesn't actually sound like you. For most people, this voice is an amalgamation of their own voice, their parents' voices, and the voices of people they've heard on TV. It's not just a narrator either. It's a full-blown conversation partner. It talks to you, it judges you, it praises you, and it occasionally reminds you that you forgot to feed the cat. This internal monologue is one of the most uniquely human things about us, but it's also incredibly strange. It's a constant, never-ending conversation that you're having with yourself, and you're so used to it that you don't even notice it's happening. It's like having a tiny imaginary friend who lives in your head, and you can never get them to shut up. Number 4. The body's fake fever. You know that feeling of being freezing cold, shivering uncontrollably, even though you're sweating and your body is burning up with a fever? It's the most counterintuitive feeling in the world, and it's your body's way of fighting back against an invasion. When a virus or bacteria gets into your system, your immune system releases chemicals called pyrogens. These pyrogens travel to your brain's hypothalamus, which is basically your body's thermostat. The pyrogens trick your hypothalamus into thinking your body is freezing, so it raises your internal temperature set point. Suddenly, 98.6 degrees feels like a deep freeze, and your body kicks into high gear to warm itself up. It makes you shiver to generate heat, and it restricts blood flow to your extremities to keep the heat centered in your core. The result is you, bundled up in blankets, chattering your teeth while your internal temperature is pushing 101. It's a completely bizarre and uncomfortable process, and it's all just a big lie your body tells itself to kill off the germs. Basically, your nervous system is throwing a tantrum in your honor. Number 3. Your eardrums are listening to your eyeballs. Think about this. Have you ever felt a sound in your eyes? Or heard your eyes move? You have. You just don't know it. Your eyes are constantly moving, even when you're staring at something. They make tiny, rapid, jittery movements called saccades. The muscles that control these movements are so close to your inner ear that every time your eyes move, they generate a tiny sound. We don't consciously hear it because our brains have learned to filter it out. But if you listen closely in a perfectly silent room, you can sometimes hear a subtle crackling sound. It's the sound of your own eyeballs moving in their sockets. It's an unnerving thought, but it's proof that your senses are far more connected than you think. Your brain is just a masterful sound engineer, constantly mixing and filtering out the white noise of your own body, so you don't spend all day hearing your eyeballs creak. Number 2, the body's secret skeleton. You've been told you have 206 bones in your body, and that's a lie. It's a lie because you've probably never heard of the fibula. It's a tiny little bone, about the size of a coffee bean, that grows in the tendon behind your knee. Scientists used to think it was a rare anatomical quirk, but a recent study found it's making a comeback. In 1918, only about 11% of people had a fibula. Today, it's closer to 40%. The theory is that it's a response to modern life. We're getting heavier, and we're putting more stress on our knees, so our bodies are growing this extra bone to protect the joint. It's a bizarre little evolutionary leftover, like a tailbone or a wisdom tooth, but it's re-emerging to help us cope with the demands of being a modern human. It's proof that your body is a dynamic, ever-changing organism, and it's not afraid to grow a little bone out of nowhere just to help you out. Number 1. The silent scream of your DNA. Your DNA is a long, winding spiral of code, and you've probably heard that only a tiny fraction of it is actually used to build you. The rest, once dubbed junk DNA, was thought to be useless. Turns out that's completely wrong. A huge portion of your so-called junk DNA is actually a graveyard of ancient viruses. For millions of years, viruses have been invading our ancestors, and some of them, instead of just killing us, infiltrated our reproductive cells and became a permanent part of our genetic code. Today, up to 8% of the human genome is made up of these viral relics. They're not just inert junk either. Scientists are finding that these viral fossils can influence everything from our immune system to our brain function. Some of these viral remnants may have even played a role in the evolution of human consciousness. It's a creepy, profound thought. You are a walking, talking history book of every viral epidemic your ancestors ever survived. You have the silent screams of ancient plagues embedded in your very being, and they're still pulling the strings of who you are today. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.